Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Kunja Bihari, Chanda Vallabha, Girivardhari, Gopi Jana Vallabha, Girivardhari, Jashodandana, Vraja Janaranjana, Yashodandana, Vraja Janaranjana, Jamuna Tira, Vanachari, Jamuna Tira, Vanachari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Jai Go, Hari Go, Hari Go, Hari Bo, Jai Go, Hari Bo, Jai Go, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivraja Gacharya Stotra Srimad Bhai Charanara Vinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivraja Gacharya Stotra Srimad Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavindi Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Sikaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gokopina Shamakunda Radhakunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Mayapur Navadip Dham Ki Jai. Shri Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Jamuna Devi Ganga Devi Ki Jai. Samveda Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Sarasatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiraye. So we'll start with the Mangalacharan 2. And today we'll be starting our reading of the 7th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, in which we'll read at least the 10 chapters, starting from the beginning, dealing with the pastime of the appearance of Lord Nrsingadev, leading up to Nrsinga Chaturdashi. And so today is a good day to start things. So we'll be starting that reading today and then organizing so that we'll be able to finish at least 10 chapters and maybe the whole 7th canto, if possible.
Haribol.
Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Viditam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadahmayam Dadati Swa Padantikam Adadhanastridam Danteridam Yache Puna Puna Shriman Rupa Padam Bhoja Dhuli Syam Janma Janmani Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Sadvatutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha Namashreshtam Manumapi Shachiputram Atra Swarupam Shri Rupam Tasya Grajam Urupurim Maturim Goshtavatim Radha Kundam Girivaram Moho Radhika Madhavasham Prapto Yasya Pratita Kripaya Shri Gurum Tam Natosmi He Guru Gyanada Dinabando Swananda Data Kurunaika Sindo Vrindavana Sina Hitavatar Prasida Radha Pranaya Pracharo He Dinabando Kurunaika Sindo Kuru Prasadam Mayamanda Mudhe Laksha Parade Bahupapa Gadhe Tatpada Padme Stu Matishcha Krishne Prata Shriman Navadvipe Dvinetram Dvibhujam Gurum Varabhaya Pradam Shantam Smaritan Nama Purvakam Tvam Gopika Visharavishtanayanti Kesi Sevadi Karani Guru Nijapada Padme Dasyam Pradaya Kurumam Rajakana Neshri Radhangri Sevana Rasini Sukinim Sukabdao Shiguro Paramananda Premananda Palaprad Rajananda Pradhananda Sevayama Niyojaya Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Tinamine Shri Barshabhanavi Devi Daitaya Kripabdaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Daine Pravave Namaha Madhuryo Jvala Premadya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktira Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinatarine Rupanuga Virudhapa Siddhanta Dvanta Harine Namo Gaurikishoraya Sakshad Vairagya Murtaye Vipralambara Sambodhe Padam Bhujayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sakchidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupa Nuga Varayate Gaura Virbhava Bhomestvam Nirdeshta Sajjana Priya Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Shri Jagannathaya Te Namaha Vansha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Goratushe Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Jayatam Surato Pangor Mama Manda Matirgati Matsarva Swapadam Bojao Radha Manana Mohanao Divyad Vrindaranya Kalpadrumata Srimad Ratnagara Sinhasanastau Srimad Radha Srila Govinda Devao Prishtali Bi Sevyamanu Smarami Excuse me. Shriman Rasarasaram Bhivam Shiva Tatatastita Karshan Venu Swanir Gopir Gopinatha Shri Estunaha 18 Thakur Gaudiyake Kariyachina Atmasat, 18 Era Charan Vandon Tine Mornat, Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Vande Nanda Vrajashrinam Padarenum Abhikshna Shaha Yasam Harigato Gitam Punati Bhuvanatrayam Antayam Adrir Abala Haridasa Varyo Yadrama Krishna Charana Sparasha Pramodaha Manam Tanoti Sahago Ganayos Tayo Yat Paniya Suyavasakandana Kandamulai Vrindayai Tulsidevyai Priyayai Keshavasya Cha Vishnu Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavachai Namo Namaha Shri Nishinga Jai Nishinga Jai Jai Nishinga Prahlada Desha Jaya Padma Mukha Padma Bringa Yada Yada Hi Dharmasya Glanir Bhavati Bharata Abhutanam Adharmasya Tadatmanam Srajamyaham Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharmasam stapanartaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Manmana bhavamad bhakto madhyaji man namaskuru mami vaishyasi yukvaivam atmanam aparayanaha. Sarvadharman parityaja mamekam sharanam braja aham tang sarvapapebhyo mukshayishami masuchaha. Shru Shru Sho Shradhanasya Vasudeva Kataruchi Syan Mahat Sevaya Vipra Punyatirtan Shevanan Shinvatam Sukata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridyantaksto Hipadrani Vitunoti Surit Satam Nashta Praeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Utamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Tadara Justamo Bhava Kamalobara Yashchaye Cheta Iter Anavidham Stitam Sattve Prasidati Evam Prasanna Manaso Bhagavad Bhakti Yogataha Bhagavad Tattva Vijnanam Mukta Sangha Sajayate Vidyate Hridaya Grantish Chijante Sarva Samshayaha Shiyante Chasya Karmani Drishta Evatmanishvare Malihai Karishe Bija Arupan Shravana Kirtana Jale Karaye Sechan Tahan Vistaritahai Pale Prema Pal Ihan Male Sheche Nitya Shravanadi Jal Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga Shikshartameka Purusha Purana Shri Krishna Chaitanya Sharira Dhari Kripambhutir Yastamaham Prapadye Kalan Nashtam Bhakti Yogam Nijam Ja Pradush Kartum Krishna Chaitanya Nama Avirbhutas Tasya Padara Vinde Gadham Gadham Liatam Chitta Bringa Ajanulambita Bujau Kanakavadato Sankirtanai Kapitaro Kamalaya Taksho Vishwambaro Dvijavaro Yukatarma Palo Pande Jagapriyakaro Karunavataro Matsamo Nasti Papa Manaparadi Chikaschana Parihare Pilajame Kimbruve Purushottama Yuvatinam Yatayuni Yunam Chao Yuvatau Yata Mano Piramate Tadvan Mano Miramatam Twayi Bhumau Skalita Padanam Pumir Eva Valambanam Twaye Jata Paradanam Tameva Sharanam Prabho Govinda Balabhe Radhe Prarte Tvam Hamsada Twarya Miti Janatu Govindo Mam Twaya Saha Radhe Vrindavanadi She Karunamrittavahani Kripaya Nijapadabja Dasyam Mayam Pratyatam Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama.
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jai Nidhi Prabhu, Haribo.
Haribo.
Now my day is made. I heard your voice. Hare Krishna. Thank you for being there. All glories to the cows. Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 1st chapter, text number 1. This chapter is entitled, The Supreme Lord is Equal to Everyone. King Parikshit inquired, my dear Brahmana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu, being everyone's well-wisher, is equal and extremely dear to everyone. How then did he become partial like a common man for the sake of Indra and thus kill Indra's enemies? How can a person equal to everyone be partial to some and inimical to others? Purport, in Bhagavad Gita 9:29, the Lord says, Samaham sarvabhuteshu name dvesho stina priyaha. I'm equal to everyone. No one is dear to me, nor is anyone my enemy. In the previous canto, however, it has been observed that the Lord sided with Indra by killing the demons on his account. Hatta putra diti Shakra Parshni Grahena Vishnuna. Therefore, the Lord was clearly partial to Indra, although he is the supersoul in everyone's heart. The soul is extremely dear to everyone, and similarly, the supersoul is also dear to everyone. Thus, there cannot be any faulty action on the part of the supersoul. The Lord is always kind to all living entities, irrespective of form and situation. He took the side of Indra just like an ordinary friend. This was the subject of Parikshit Maharaj's inquiry. As a devotee of Lord Krishna, he knew very well that Krishna cannot be partial to anyone. But when he saw that Krishna acted as the enemy of the demons, he was somewhat doubtful. Therefore, he posed this question to Shukadeva Goswami for a clear answer. A devotee cannot accept that Lord Vishnu has material qualifications. Maharaj Parikshit knew perfectly well that Lord Vishnu, being transcendental, has nothing to do with material qualities. But to confirm his conviction, he wanted to hear from the authority, Shukadeva Goswami. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, Samasya katam vaishamyam. Since the Lord is equally disposed toward everyone, how can he be partial? Priyasya katam asureshu prityabhavaha. The Lord, being the supersoul, is extremely dear to everyone. Why then should the Lord display unsympathetic behavior toward the asuras? How is this impartial? Suridascha katam teshwasau hardham. Since the Lord says that he is Suridam Sarvabhutanam, the well-wisher of all living entities, how could he act with partiality by killing demons? These questions arose in the heart of Parikshit Maharaj, and therefore he inquired from Shukadeva Goswami. Text number 2. Lord Vishnu himself, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the reservoir of all pleasure. Therefore, what benefit would he derive from siding with the demigods? What interest would he fulfill in this way? Since the Lord is transcendental, why should he fear the asuras? And how could he be envious of them? Purport. We should always remember the distinction between spiritual and material. That which is material is infected by material qualities, but these qualities cannot touch that which is spiritual or transcendental. Krishna is absolute, whether he is in the material world or the spiritual world. When we see partiality in Krishna, this vision is due to his external energy. Otherwise, how could his enemies attain salvation after being killed by him? Everyone who deals with the Supreme Personality of Godhead gradually acquires the qualities of the Lord. The more one advances in spiritual consciousness, the less he is affected by the duality of material qualities. I'll read that again. It's very, very important. Everyone who deals with the Supreme Personality of Godhead gradually acquires the qualities of the Lord. The more one advances in spiritual consciousness, the less he is affected by the duality of material qualities. So in bhakti, our main practice really is staying in contact with Krishna. In other processes, there's a separation, that is, one's considering one's own power in controlling the senses and the mind. And in bhakti, the main consideration is mana Krishna niveshayat, that somehow or other one remember Krishna. In fact, out of all the rules and regulations that are there in the Shastra, there are two that are the emperors of all the other rules and regulations, and all the other rules and regulations serve these two. And that is, number one, to always remember Krishna, and the second is to never forget Krishna. So this is taken very literally in bhakti, and in bhakti, the way in which one directly deals with Krishna is mentioned by Prahlad Maharaj. In fact, he said this to his father when his father asked him the second time, what's the best thing you learn in school? Prahlad Maharaj, very humorously, he didn't mean to be funny, but it is funny anyway, because each time he asked him what he learned in school, hoping to hear about, how he was getting up to speed on how to exploit others and finding out material scientific ideas, Prahlad Maharaj would reply with what he actually learned from his spiritual master Narada Muni when he was in the womb. So the second time the great demon Hiranyakashipu asked Prahlad, he said, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmani Vedam. Iti Pumsar Pita Vishnu, Bhaktis Chen Navalakshana, Kriyeta Bhagavat Yada Tan Ditam Uttamam. He said that the direct process of devotional service consists of these 9 processes: Shravanam, hearing, Kirtanam, chanting, Smaranam, remembering, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, worshiping the Lord, Archanam, worshiping the deity, Archanam, Vandanam, offering prayers, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, serving, Sakyam, becoming a friend of the Lord's, and Atmani Vedanam, offering everything. Iti Pumsarpita Vishnu Bhaktis Chen Navalakshana Kriyeta Bhagavat Yada. He said that these are the direct processes of devotional service. Tan manye ditam uttamam. Tan manye means that I consider aditamam, learning. This is the person who is engaged in these 9 processes. Prahlad says, I consider to be the most intelligent, the most learned of all people. So iti, after he names the 9 processes, iti thus, pumsa arpita. This is what's offered by the devotee, pumsa arpita. The devotees offering these 9 to Krishna. Chen Navalakshana, and they have 9 different processes. Nava, 9, Lakshana, qualities or practices. Kriyeta, these are things that you should do. Bhagavati, unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Ada. So that word's important. Ada means directly. It's directly offered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Tanmanye ditam uttamam. And someone who's engaged like this is considered to be the most intelligent. So that's the system, how to deal with Krishna in the process of bhakti yoga through these 9 processes. And if one does this, then it's very natural, by being in contact with Krishna. For instance, through hearing, we hear Krishna Katha, that is, we hear the Leela, how Krishna dealt with his devotees and in loving ways, how he killed demons, how he lived in Vrindavan and Mathura and Dwarka. And then we also hear instructions by Krishna and by Krishna's devotees. These are all considered Krishna Katha. And by hearing this, the instructions, we begin to develop discrimination and also taste. Through the hearing of Shastra, we hear a voice that is much wiser than our intelligence may be at the time being. My intelligence, which is right next to me, may have been affected by hearing from lower sources. That is, people who are keeping a material motive in life. Na te vidu swartakatim hi vishnum, darashaye artamanina, andan yatander upaniyamanas te pishatantram uridhamnabara. Those who are blind to the goal of life, Prahlad Maharaj says, Nate vidu swartagatim hi Vishnu. They don't know that the swarta gatim, the ultimate goal, is Vishnu. And then they go from there and they use their intelligence in marvelous ways, but it's andam yatander upaniyamanas. By that kind of intelligent instruction, I become bound up by ropes. Ropes, particularly the three modes of material nature. And I end up following such people into a ditch. This ditch is mentioned in the Sri Upanishad, Asurya nama te loka antena tamasavrita, tamste pratyabhigashchanti yeke chatma hanojanaha. That is that if one associates with asuras, or those who are atheistic or they're against devotional service, they have as their goal a material acquisition and controlling the material world, then the result is I'll end up with them. That's what this verse means, that I'll end up in a world full of people who are like-mindedly engaged in materialistic activities, and that's hell. That is actual hell. So the intelligence, when the intelligence is informed by materialistic people, then it takes me in a direction following them that in which I end up in a ditch, the ditch of material life, which is a very nasty place. So the intelligence has to be informed by Krishna. Our senses are imperfect, but if we sincerely point them towards the Lord by hearing his instructions, for instance, in the Bhagavad Gita, again and again, then the intelligence becomes fortified, and it's a miracle. We actually start to develop the qualities, starting with determination that I really actually want to improve. I would like to do the right thing. And when that arises within the heart, that feeling, accompanied by the fortifying effect of the transcendental sound vibration coming from the Shastra, then Krishna helps from within the heart. And he illuminates the heart, giving us this encouragement from within that, yes, do the right thing. We have to make the choice because Krishna is equal to everyone, and he wants to see us make the choice. He gives us all facility to do that, but then I have to make decisions. And even the tiniest of decisions to turn towards Krishna, when I'm given a choice between two things, go towards Maya or go towards Krishna, and I decide based on the strength I'm getting from hearing the Shastra and associating with devotees that I'm going to do the right thing, I'm going to go for Krishna. That creates an impression in my mind that makes it easier the next time to do the right thing. And step by step, I begin to develop myself. And that's what human life is meant for. It's meant for refinement and development, to develop this character of surrender to Krishna, using one's intelligence for Krishna. And all these things will come naturally by associating with him, with dealing with him. And the way that we deal with him is through Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Parasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmana, Nivedana. Continuing in the purport, everyone who deals with the Supreme Personality of Godhead gradually acquires the qualities of the Lord. And of course, you were waiting for me to quote 5:18-12. Yes, yasti bhaktir bhagavatiya kinchana sarvar gunas tatra samasate sura harava bhaktasya kuto mahadguna manoretena sadhitavato vahi. Those who engage in these direct process of devotional service gradually, naturally develop the qualities of the suras, the saintly people. The more one advances in spiritual consciousness, the less he is affected by the duality of material qualities. The Supreme Lord, therefore, must certainly be freed from these qualities. His enmity and friendship are external features presented by the material energy. He is always transcendental. He is absolute, whether he kills or bestows his favor. Envy and friendship arise in one who is imperfect. We fear our enemies because in the material world we are always in need of help. The Lord, however, does not need anyone's help, for he is Atmarama. The Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 9:26, Patram pushpam palam toyam yome bhaktya priyachati tadaham bhaktyu paritam ushnami paridha manaha. If a devotee offers me with devotion a little leaf, a flower, fruit, or water, I shall accept it. Why does the Lord say this? He is dependent on the offering of the devotee? He is not actually dependent, but he likes to be dependent upon his devotee. This is his mercy. Similarly, he does not fear the asuras. Thus, there's no question of partiality in the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Text number 3. O greatly fortunate and learned Brahmana, whether Narayan is partial or impartial has become a subject of great doubt. Kindly dispel my doubt with positive evidence that Narayan is always neutral and equal to everyone. Purport. Since Lord Narayan is absolute, his transcendental qualities are described as one. Thus, his punishments and his offerings of favor are both of the same value. Essentially, his inimical actions are not displays of enmity toward his so-called enemies, but in the material field, one thinks that Krishna is favorable to devotees and unfavorable to non-devotees. When Krishna finally instructs in Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Dharman Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam Braja, this is meant not only for Arjuna, but for every living entity within this universe. Text 4 and 5. The great sage Shukadeva Goswami said, My dear king, you have put before me an excellent question. Discourses concerning the activities of the Lord in which the glories of his devotees are also found are extremely pleasing to devotees. Such wonderful topics always counteract the miseries of the materialistic way of life. Therefore, great sages like Narada always speak upon Srimad Bhagavatam because it gives one the facility to hear and chant about the wonderful activities of the Lord. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto Srila Vyasadeva and then begin describing topics concerning the activities of Lord Hari. Purport. In this verse, Shukadeva Goswami offers his respectful obeisances, Krishnaya Munaye, which means to Krishna Dvaipayana Vyas. One must first offer one's respectful obeisances to one's spiritual master. Shukadeva Goswami's spiritual master is his father, Vyasadeva, and therefore he first offers his respectful obeisances to Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa and then begins describing topics of Lord Hari. Whenever there is an opportunity to hear about the transcendental activities of the Lord, we must take it. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recommends Kirtaniya Sadahari. One must always engage in Krishna Katha by chanting and talking about Krishna and hearing about him. That is the only occupation of the Krishna conscious person. Let's look up the word occupation. This is the only occupation.
Maharaj, occupation means a job or profession, a way of spending time. It also means the action, state, or period of occupying or being occupied by military force. The third meaning is the action or fact of living in or using a building or another place.
Thank you. So it comes from the word occupy. And this word from Old French, from Latin, occupare, seize, a now obsolete vulgar sense, seems to have led to the general avoidance of the word. So it has to do with grabbing onto something. This is important because there's a way in which, unless we grab onto the time that's availed to us, whatever that might be, the time that we get in a particular body is fixed up by a higher authority, only they don't give us a little chit that reveals when that is, which is kind of, doesn't that make you a little bit, nervous? So we're not really actually sure when the end comes, but it's fixed up. And of course, we can prematurely, ruin the body or something like that. But there's a set time and destiny for us to be in the body. So then there's opportunity in every given day for how we'll use our time. And the devotees occupy their time, they grab it, they seize it on behalf of Krishna. So it's like a war. In a war, you have to have a strategy. Because as it's said that the wars are won in the general's tent. Because if you have a good plan, and those who study these things, military arts, they go to academies where they study strategies of war and so forth, you find that in history, wars are won by strategy, not just by might. The Americans had a lot more firepower than the Vietnamese did, South Vietnamese. But America was defeated in Vietnam because they didn't have the right strategy. And similarly, other great wars, well, that wasn't such a great one. But all these wars, you'll trace it back to some smart person or a group of people who figured out how to strategize and occupy and to take over. So we have to think like that also, because we're in a war with Maya. And I was just listening this morning, Prabhupada was saying that Maya's always going to try to drag us down. It's not that she'll naturally uplift us. We have to be in a military position, that we're making a strategy to fight against Maya, because if we don't occupy the space, she will. So the devotee's occupation is Krishna consciousness. And it means that we really have to have a sound strategy, and you have to keep reviewing it. And if you just let it go to chance and let Maya take you wherever she wants to go, then you just end up as another face in the crowd being manipulated by the material energy. But we're practicing something that's meant to take us to the spiritual world. That is not ordinary. So it requires some strategy and some determination to fight the war. So we have to occupy, we have to take advantage of this. Okay. Now I've lost my place. Where am I?
So text number 6, we can start from there.
Did I finish 4 and 5? Okay, that is the only occupation of a Krishna conscious person. Number 6, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu is always transcendental to material qualities, and therefore he is called Nirguna, or without qualities. Because he is unborn, he does not have a material body to be subjected to attachment and hatred. Although the Lord is always above material existence, through his spiritual potency, he appeared and acted like an ordinary human being, accepting duties and obligations, apparently like a conditioned soul. Purport: so-called attachment, detachment, and obligations pertain to the material nature, which is an emanation from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But whenever the Lord descends and acts in this material world, he does so in his spiritual position. Although his activities materially appear different, spiritually they are absolute and non-different. Thus, it is an imposition upon the Supreme Lord to say that he is envious of anyone and friendly to anyone. In Bhagavad Gita 9:11, the Lord clearly says, Avajananti mam buddha manashim tanamashritam. Fools deride me when I descend in a human form. Krishna appears on this earth or within this universe without any change in his spiritual body or spiritual qualities. Indeed, he is never influenced by the material qualities. He is always free from such qualities, but he appears to act under material influence. This understanding is aropita, or an imposition. Therefore, Krishna says, Janma karma chame divyam, whatever he does, being always transcendental, has nothing to do with material qualities. Evam yo veti tattvata. Only devotees can understand the truth of how he acts. The fact is that Krishna is never partial to anyone. He is always equal to everyone. But because of imperfect vision, influenced by material qualities, one imposes material qualities upon Krishna. And when one does so, he becomes a mudha, a fool. When one can properly understand the truth, one becomes devoted and nirguna, free from the material qualities. Simply by understanding the activities of Krishna, one can become transcendental. And as soon as one is transcendental, he is fit to be transferred to the spiritual world. I'll read that again. Simply by understanding the activities of Krishna, one can become transcendental. And as soon as one is transcendental, he is fit to be transferred to the spiritual world. This understanding of Krishna's pastimes is not an intellectual exercise, but it's attained by submissive hearing, because Krishna is above us in all ways, above everything and every living entity. As Krishna says in the Gita, Yo mam eva masam mudho janati purushottamam sasarva vid bhajati mam sarva bhavena bharata. Those who understand Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead and understand his unique position above the Shara and Akshara, means the fallible and the infallible, or the souls in the material world, fallible, those in the spiritual world, infallible. Beyond the fallible and infallible, there's Krishna, who's above them all, the Supreme Person. So we can't intellectually understand Krishna, but if we understand categorically that or we understand various categories, that is, that there are different energies working. We're part of those energies. We're able to distinguish between the energies and not make categorical mistakes. That is, one categorical mistake is to think, I am material. This is a mistake because we're not material, we're ensconced in matter. And we're also not God. That's another categorical mistake. And also to think that God is material is a categorical mistake, because he's not. He's different from the material energy. As Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, he lists the various energies, aparayamitas. He says, Bhumir apo analo vayu kamano bhujar evacha ahankara ityame bina prakriti ashtada. There's earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and ego. And above these, aparayam itastvanyam prakritim vidi me param jiva bhutam mahabaho yedam daryate jagat, are the living entities who are categorically different from matter. But then there's Krishna, who's the controller of all of them. In the 9th chapter, he goes on to explain how the whole material world is going on under his control, and he's actually even separate from the controllers who are controlling the material world. And this is his supreme Aishvarya, his supreme opulence, that he has this unique position. There's also a categorical mistake that the Mayavadis make. They think that Krishna's body is made of matter, and they don't understand that he has Shaktis, and that there within the supreme whole, there are also divisions. Vedanti tat tat vabiras tatvam yaj jnanamadvayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavan iti shabdite. That is, there's Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan, and that Brahmano hi pratishtaham amritasya vyasya shashvatasya dharmasya. Krishna says that I'm the source of that Brahman. Everything is emanating from me. So this is Sambandha Gyan, and we can use our intelligence to understand these various categories, but to truly imbibe this understanding of the Supreme Personality of God, it requires hearing this submissively again and again, and through revelation, one can then begin to understand Krishna's transcendental position. And this puts any person in this material world who's in a material body in a unique position, just by dedicating one's intelligence for understanding the categories of the Lord's energies, to understand our relationship with him, and to hear about the Lord's activities with a submissive mind. That is, to hear about him and think, suspend any disbelief that, oh, how can that be? Because how could anyone have 16,108 wives? How could anyone have an arbuda of cows? That's more than billions, and so forth. If you're able to hear submissively, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says to Sanatana Goswami, then one's mind becomes cleansed. And by that cleansing process of hearing about Krishna's amazing transcendental features, then gradually one comes to know Krishna, and to know Krishna is to love Krishna and to become attached to him. And it's from that state of complete attachment to Krishna, after understanding that he's the source of everything, he's the source of myself, that one then begins to lose interest in the material world. And this is mentioned in Bhagavatam, that Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Janaya Yashuvayaragyam Yanam Chayara Haitukam, one naturally gets detachment from the world and knowledge about I'm not my body, because when the light comes on, then you see things for what they are. And the light means to be in contact with Krishna. Okay, so the last part of this purport says, simply by understanding the activities of Krishna, one can become transcendental. And as soon as one is transcendental, he is fit to be transferred to the spiritual world. So you get a little badge that says, I'm fit to be transferred to the spiritual world. So then when they come to pick everybody up, then you can get on the bus first, because you're fit to be transferred. So that's the main thing, is get fit to be transferred. Should have a t-shirt, fit to be transferred. Tekvadeham punar janma naiti mam eti sorjana. One who understands the activities of the Lord in truth is transferred to the spiritual world after he gives up his material body. One more verse, and then I'm going to take some reflections and questions. This is number 7. My dear King Parikshit, the material qualities, Sattva Gun, the Rajagun, and Tamagun, all belong to the material world and do not even touch the Supreme Personality of Godhead. These 3 gunas cannot act by increasing or decreasing simultaneously. Purport. The original position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is one of equality. There's no question of his being influenced by Sattva Guna, Rajaguna, or Tamaguna. For these material qualities cannot touch the Supreme Lord. The Lord is therefore called the Supreme Ishvara. Ishvara Paramakrishna. He is the Supreme Controller. He controls the material qualities. Daivihe Shagunamayi Mama Maya. Maya Dakshena Prakriti Suyate. Material nature, Prakriti, works under his order. How then can he be under the qualities of Prakriti? Krishna is never influenced by the material qualities. Therefore, there is no question of partiality in the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, let's just have a few reflections or questions to expand the conversation.
Guru Maharaj, I have a question.
Yes.
You were talking about understanding the difference between understanding the Lord intellectually versus understanding him categorically. And when we go through categories, we get to understand which category is which, and without confusing our categories, if we constantly listen to his leelas and the descriptions and his energies, then we attain the ability to understand him.
Let me just amend that just slightly. There's a way in which we can apply our intellect to understanding the categories. And this is the proper use of the intelligence, is to study the different energies of the world and to understand how they're different. And from that, one can begin to develop something that's very important, which is called vivek, or discrimination. And this discrimination is a great power that one develops when the intellect or the buddhi becomes purified by hearing the Sambandha Gyan. So continue from there.
So my question was, when I'm trying to understand the Lord intellectually, I'm still trying to understand the Lord. When I'm trying to understand him categorically, I'm still trying to understand the Lord. My confusion.
I tried to amend that. I'm not making a difference between trying to understand him categorically and intellectually. I'm saying that an intellectual understanding of the Lord by studying the categories and properly understanding them is helpful. So there's no bifurcation between those two concepts.
Okay,
Maybe I misspoke in the beginning.
Oh, no, you were right. I just misunderstood. Thank you, Gurmaharaj.
Okay.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam. This is Radhakripa Das.
Yes, Radhakripa Prabhu.
Maharaj, I was reflecting on when you mentioned that we need to have a strategy to win over Maya and like in the military. So I was actually remembering when Prabhupada writes a letter, he always use the word camp. So I was just thinking about, Prabhupada was always a journal who is always leading us, protecting us with the fight over Maya, giving us everything to do it. We just need to surrender to him, and under his protection, I'm sure Maya will not touch us if we follow what he's saying. It. So I was just really connecting those two things about how we need to make sure that it's an attack of Maya can slip in any time, and we need to be always vigilant.
Yeah, this is an important point, Radhakripa Prabhu. And Prabhupada's mood was like this. For instance, when he would move to a new location, he would set up camp. He put everything in order there. It's not that he'd get in there and sit down and do whatever. Some people go and they'll go to a hotel, watch TV, whatever. But the fact is, Prabhupada would go and he would meticulously set up his desk would be set up the way it was in the last place, and he would get situated there with whatever he needed then to fight the battle from that place. He didn't make any openings for Maya to slip in, and there weren't any gaps. So this may sound like a rigorous kind of lifestyle, but actually it's not. It's an ecstatic lifestyle when one has control of one's faculties and senses and is able to actually feel that one is utilizing them fully for a higher purpose. There's actual satisfaction. I read a phrase a couple days ago that I wrote down, hopefully in this notebook, that I got from one of the commentaries on the Yoga Sutras. Here it is. Caught my attention. This is from a commentary in the Yoga Sutra that says, whatever is good or most desired in this life or in the next is attained by intense concentration of the mind. So when we actually are focused on what the purpose of life is, and we have the wherewithal to do something about it through practicing, because the senses don't cooperate right away. The mind doesn't cooperate. In fact, Krishna says we're at war with our mind and senses when we first start this process. And just like, the mind is the worst enemy until it's controlled. And so imagine, the mind is like an enemy camp. It's right next to you. So the town right next to you is sending disinformation constantly to try to mess up the minds of everybody in your town, and sends all kinds of weapons and secret people that sneak in and stuff like that. That's at war with the mind. The mind, when it's conditioned by the modes of material nature, then it's giving us disinformation all the time. So we have to strategize to come up to speed. And when we are up to speed and we're actually able to concentrate fully, and we know we're concentrating fully and using our senses as much as possible in Krishna service, it's not that we feel deprived. It's just the opposite. We feel that we're in the flow of nectar. And when we're distracted, like I like to say that concentration on the right thing is nectar. Distraction is torture. And when we are in the interim period and we know what we're supposed to be concentrating on, but we're getting distracted, it feels a little bit like torture. Okay, another question or comment?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam. Can you please explain more about Krishna's qualities, Nirguna and Saguna, what we read in the one of the purport?
Yes. Krishna is a person, and he has features. In fact, all the features that we see in the world in any other person that are attractive originally come from Krishna. They emanate from him. You can imagine how attracted we are to variety, and especially to personality and to character. And deprived of that, we actually go crazy. We can't maintain without the entertaining in our minds variety and interaction with others and so forth. And all of that comes from Krishna, but it comes from him in a perfect way. When it comes into our purview in the material world, it's perverted, and therefore we're not getting the real thing, but we can get a semblance of what actual nectar tastes like. So when we see good qualities in this world, in people, for example, we know the exhilarating feeling it is to adulate them, to appreciate the good qualities in others. So imagine that the person who's the source of all those good qualities, and that they're there unlimitedly and they keep increasing, how much we can actually give ourselves to that person and what it feels like to be connected to those good qualities. So hearing Bhagavatam imparts upon us that kind of, it gives us that association with Krishna. It's his incarnation. We hear about his qualities, his dealings with his devotees and so forth. And by hearing about his qualities, we'll actually start to imbibe them. And we have similar qualities, but in a minute quantity. And they will start to shine forth by our hearing about Krishna's qualities. Is there another question?
I have a reflection, Prabhu.
Yes.
Two reflections. To know Krishna is to love Krishna. I love that. And what was the other? I went blank.
That's okay. That one's really nice. To know Krishna is to love Krishna. So the more one knows about Krishna, the more one loves Krishna. There's a place where we can give our full attention, where we won't be dissatisfied. And that's big news, because we have to put our attention somewhere. And if we don't know where to put it, we'll go from one thing to the next, and that repeats the cycle of birth and death, just looking for that object that will actually satisfy our mind and our heart. And so the Bhagavatam's saying, look over here, look at Krishna and get to know him. And when you do get to know him, you're going to love what you see. I mean, car commercials will tell you that. You know, when you see this Mustang, you know, you're going to fall in love. Because, but, you know, I learned this when I bought my first car. I did a little research, and then one of the articles said, don't fall in love with the car because it won't love you back. And it's true of any material situation. It either won't love you back, or it won't love you back in a way that you can completely fulfill your loving propensity, but Krishna does. So we should try to get to know him as much as possible. And if we love Krishna, then we'll feel satisfied. Thanks, Dainini Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
The other one was get fit to be transferred.
Yeah, get your little badge that says fit to be transferred, or you get a shirt, or maybe a band, you know, fit to be transferred, but get yourself ready to be transferred, because it could be at any time. We don't know when that transfer time is going to come.
Yeah.
And if you're not quite ready to be transferred to the spiritual world, then Krishna says, Yoga Brashta Vijayate, those who almost made it, they have to take another bus transfer to a different place. You got to stay in the material world and then come back and try again. So this kind of determination should grow in the heart of the bhakti yogi, that let me make this the time. Let me get fit for transfer right now. Let me get myself ready. Why wait? Because if I wait, I don't know where I'm going to end up. What's my next situation? I don't get a really clear say. Pardon me?
ये दर्द करेगा ये बहुत.
Okay, so any other question or comment?
Maharaj,
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you,
Maharaj.
Daidita Prabhu. Good ones.
Maharaj,
Yes?
I have a reflection and a question.
Yes?
The reflection is, you said the battles are won through a strategy, not through the strength.
They're what?
Battles,
Oh, in the battles are won in the general's tent?
yeah, through
Yeah.
the strategy and not through the strength. Yeah, in the history we have seen even Alexander with not much great strength, he conquered the Persian Empire, which is much, much, much bigger than his strength just by through strategy. And I like that point. You know, even in Krishna consciousness, we need to have some kind of strategy, which Maya is very strong. You know, we just cannot take Maya for granted. So we must always be under the shelter of Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. I like that point very much. And then the question is, so our aim is to, transfer in this very lifetime back to Godhead. But I read somewhere that, it may take up to 3 births as a Kanishtadhikari, as a Madhyamadhikari, and as a Uttamadhikari to go back to Godhead. Can you please elaborate on that?
Read somewhere means?
I think maybe in Bhagavatam or
Maybe Bhagavatam?
maybe.
You bring me the quote and we'll discuss. But the fact is that, when you bring a quote, if you say maybe here, maybe there, it's really hard to discuss. I never heard anything like that in the Bhagavatam. Bharat Maharaj took 3 lifetimes to go back because we shouldn't be disappointed. Wherever Krishna puts us, it's for our purification. Chitraketu attained perfection in his mantra, but then he got another birth as Vritrasura. And, Krishna knows what he's doing to put us in situations to increase our desire to go back to him. But we shouldn't wait around and think, okay, 3 lifetimes. Sometimes you say you can go back in 1 lifetime, or in 1 lifetime you'll go back. One of these lifetimes. But we should have the determination to go back in this lifetime. And then it's up to Krishna, because then he may transfer us to a place in this Brahmanda or another Brahmanda in the material world where we get more training. I mean, just think of when you get elevated by Krishna, really what happens is he puts you into a better and better association. That's by his arrangement. Just finding association in the first place comes from our own sincerity. It's not that we can find saintly people unless we have that yearning in our heart for God. And that's where it all starts. If I'm praying, God, please show me the way, he'll show you. He'll actually then hook you up with somebody who's a representative, who's got something, some connection, and say, here it is over here. And how do we make the next steps and the next steps to get to these higher levels of devotional service if we really want them? We can't plateau and then just say, okay, I joined an organization, I'm good now, I'm going to go back to Godhead. There's no guarantee. There's no guarantee in that. Even when Jayananda Prabhu went back to Godhead, and he was, as far as I could see, the sincerest devotee I had met ever, in Krishna consciousness at that time, that was, fully practicing. And when he left his body, Prabhupada didn't say, he said that if you were thinking of Krishna, you went back to Godhead. If you weren't, then you take birth, again in a devotee family and continue it from there. It's very scientific. So there's no guarantee. Just because of this, we're not entitled. The only thing that determines is what you want. And that's what Krishna pays attention to, because we're independent souls. So he says, Yanti Deva Vata Devam, Pitrin Yanti Pratirvata, Bhutani Yanti Bhuteja, Yanti Mam Yajino Pimam. If you want me more than anything, you can come to me. So then 1 life, 2 life, 3 lives, 1,000 lives, up to Krishna. But if we want him, then he'll put us into better, more and more association that will allow us to imbibe the finer qualities of devotional practice by the mercy of the devotees. And that could be in this universe before we get trained up, and who knows how many lifetimes. And it could be in one. It's up to him. Let's see, I see there's some comments coming in over here. We have, wow. Tadiya Seva said, Nate vidu swatagatim hi Vishnu. Durashaya ye artamanina andaya tandar upaniyamanas te pisha tantram urudamni bada. Srimadava Mahotsava said, I like it. Oops, what happened? We got more coming in. I think you have to, if you can, oh, I can do it. I like when you said to occupy the space for Krishna. It's like the real activism to occupy my life with Krishna conscious activity. Yeah, that's a good word, activism. We should feel like that. Then, Nam Smarana, Prabhu said, idea of earning the badge fit to be transferred is very inspiring. Vaikuntha Nayaka from Mysore, I like the point on occupation, to be occupied with. What we occupy ourselves, our time with, decides what our consciousness will be. When we were traveling in Mysore, you would ask how many minutes before we reach the next destination, and you would use those few 10 minutes to read something from Bhagavatam. I was reminded of the saying, take care of the minutes and the years will take care of themselves. Yeah. Okay, from Sudhir Madhava. I liked when you said understanding Krishna is not purely an intellectual process, but by submissive hearing. Atashi Krishna Namadi. Good. 2, you also kindly elaborated that a devotee grabs or occupies the time he has been allotted by higher authorities. Time management is one of my weakest areas, and you gave the solution: strategic planning, revision, and management. Practical tips on this from your rich experience on strategizing, developing, and planning to actually execute would be wonderful. From your lips to the Lord's ears. Okay, Vaikuntha Nayaka, question from the occupation theme. How can I get conviction to be really focused on the one thing that I am doing, be it hearing, chanting, and not be distracted in the name of multitasking? In this Rajasic climate, there is a tendency to do multiple things and not do any justice to any one thing. The answer is it takes practice. Anything you practice, you become good at. So practice not multitasking when you're doing your japa or your reading or anything like that. And there are ways to accomplish that that are very, very practical. So if you practice it, you'll taste nectar and you'll also get good at it. Sukeshri, chanting helps control the mind. Please correct me when we control the modes by associating. Oops, I couldn't understand that. Chanting helps control the mind. Please correct me when we control the modes by associating. Right. Sukeshri, I don't know what you're saying.
Sorry, Prabhu. I was just trying to ask that the modes of material nature depends, I mean, which mode I am depends on the association I take. That's what? The modes of material nature, I mean, the mode I am in depends on the association I take. Like
that's right. Purusha prakriti stohi bhunte prakriti jan gunan karanam gunasangosya sarasadyoni janmasu. Because of our association, we develop different qualities. So those who are practicing strictly are very careful about their association. And of course, the perennial question, what about if I have to go to work and stuff? Yes, we have to work in the world and so forth, but just be careful what you're letting in. Be aware of the fact that there's the modes and come through associating with people, and be careful about that. Next one, Aniruddha Nitai Chand, Prabhu. He said, please accept my obeisances, mine to you. I like the point about having a strategy against Maya since she is always willing to pull me down. Yes. Kameshwari, I liked how know Krishna and love Krishna. To know Krishna is to love Krishna. Reminds me, Srila Prabhupada said in one of the classes, religion means to know Krishna and to love God. Yes. I'm a little too aware of the torture of an undisciplined mind, someone said. And how do we surrender our free will in a practical way to take decisions which most satisfies Krishna and be sure we are not acting due to some scars and impressions? The best way is to read scripture every day. You have to read Shastra because that fortifies the mind. And then you have to have a cabinet. Just like a prime minister or president has a cabinet. It doesn't mean one that you open and close. It means a group of experts. So any leader, a CEO, a president has to be surrounded by experts. Like Henry Ford didn't know how to read or write, as far as I understand, but he knew one thing, how to find talent. And he surrounded himself with talent and he had good ideas and he was able to build an empire. Of course, he was a racist too, but that's besides the point. Most people were back then, but he was really bad. There's a way in which we depend on the expertise of various people to help guide us. So an intelligent devotee can find out good association through which he or she can be guided and make good decisions throughout life. So read Shastra and get yourself a cabinet together. And also have yourself a Magna Carta. Know where you're going and why you're going there. You have to write it yourself because it's your life. Sudhir Madhava said, I wasn't clear. I had a question. Can you please share tips on strategizing and planning? Well, one of the best tips, the most basic, is to get yourself a pen. And Vrinda Sundari just gave me this pen. It just came as a gift in the mail the other day. It's the nicest pen I've ever had. It's called Baron Fig. It's made out of copper. It's got a lot of heft to it. And listen to what it says on the back of the box. The pen is a mighty sword. It grants the power to move entire nations, to touch people's hearts and souls, to make something from nothing. So this is the beginning of the strategizing process. Get yourself a Baron Fig or another pen, like one of these, and get yourself a pad of paper. This is a human invention that is overlooked, a technology that nowadays people overlook. Not Madhav Mahotsa Prabhu, he's got it. If you get yourself a pen and a pad of paper, preferably a legal pad if you're planning your life, so you're taking it seriously like you're an attorney, and start writing down. Take time to yourself. That means without any distraction and without any other thing to do, and start writing down what's working well and where there's room for improvement in your life. And think on paper. Once you commit it there, then you can start prioritizing and circle the things that are the most important to you. You'll be so energized. Then put those on a separate list. And on that list, then make a plan for each one. How do I get there? What are the obstacles behind it? And if you work from a list like that and you start to look at how I have to take the next steps, even if you feel like I can't do this, it's too big, whatever, just find the next step and keep moving towards it, and you'll feel satisfied. And you'll actually, by Prabhupada's method, he used to say, drops a day, wear the stone away. Don't worry where you are now. Just worry about knowing what the next step is and making those tiny steps every day, and then you'll be successful. Okay, so a couple more and then we'll move on. And this is from Prema Kishori. She says, please accept my obeisances, mine to you. I like the idea of occupying our mind and time with always remembering Krishna, never forget Krishna, and Kirtaniya Sadahari. You're a very fortunate person, you know that. If you like that idea, you are very fortunate. From Mayank, Hare Krishna, Mayank. I really like the point about discrimination. By restraint and wise discrimination, we can understand what keeps us bound and use this knowledge to transcend into a new spiritual position. Yes, this is mentioned by Kapila Dev. It's in the process of Sankhya. There's a description of what we call vivek, and it means the awakening of discrimination. So there's a way in which by hearing from the Shastra and getting good association, one begins to make clear discrimination. So Vyasadeva talks about this in his commentary on the Yoga Sutras. He says the mind is always presenting all kinds of ideas for material enjoyment. So one of the ways of vivek or discrimination is to look at each one of them as they're presented and then put a counter thought. He calls it a counter thought to it. This is discrimination. Say, okay, thanks for the suggestion. What is the ultimate result of your suggestion, dear mind? And then follow it to its conclusion and watch what happens. You know, it's like, here's a beautiful person. I want to be with this person, embrace it. What will that person be like in 50, 60 years? I want to eat that whole cake. What will I feel like and look like if I eat that whole cake? There's so many things you can look at and say, what will happen if I do this? And the Shastra gives us the long-term vision to understand that there's karma in everything we do in the material world. You have to pay a price. So when you try to enjoy the material world, what is the price you're going to pay at the end? This is discrimination. And if you start to develop that very strongly, then you're a smart person. You're just wise. You're moving around the world and not just willy-nilly grabbing whatever your senses say you should grab. You're being very discriminating. And this feels good to be in the driver's seat. So this is a gift from Krishna that comes from hearing from Shastra and associating with devotees and doing japa and also doing work for Krishna. These are 4 things mentioned by Vyasadeva that will help one to develop this vivek or clear discrimination. So that brings us to the end of our Bhagavatam reading. We left off at text number 8, and that's where we'll take it up for the ongoing reading that will culminate at Nrsimha Chaturdasi, which is on, what is it, May 3rd? April, May 3rd. Is that correct?
May 6th.
May 6th.
May 6th, okay. And now we have our Guru Puja, May 6th. Namashreshtam manamapi shachiputramatra sarupam shirupam tasyagrajam uruparim maturim ushtavatim radha kundam girivaramaho radhika madhavasham prapto yasya pratityakripaya shigurum tam natosmi. Hey Guru Gyanada Dina Bando Swaranda Data Kurunaika Sindo Vrindavana Sinahita Avatar Prasida Radha Pranaya Pracharu. Hey Dina Bando Kurunaika Sindo Kuru Prasada Mai Mandamudhe Laksha Parade Bahupapa Gadhe Pada Padmes to Matishya Krishna. I bow down to the beautiful lotus feet of my spiritual master, by whose causeless mercy I have obtained the supreme holy name, the divine mantra, the service of the son of Shachimata, the association of Srila Sarup Damodar, Rupa Goswami, and his older brother Sanatana Goswami, the supreme abode of Mathura, the blissful abode of Vrindavana, the divine Radhakunda and Govardhan Hill, and the desire within my heart for the loving service of Sri Radhika and Madhava in Vrindavan. O spiritual master, O giver of divine wisdom, O friend of the fallen, you are the giver of your own bliss, and you are the only ocean of mercy. Although dwelling in Vrindavan, you have descended for the welfare of fallen souls like myself, and you are preaching the divine love of Radha for Krishna. Please be kind upon me. O friend of the lowly, O Gurudev, you are the only ocean of mercy. I am a dull fool and have committed hundreds of thousands of offenses. I have fallen into a dense myriad of sins. Therefore, grace me with your mercy so that my mind may be fixed on your lotus feet and on Sri Krishna. The lotus feet of our spiritual master are the only way by which we can attain pure devotional service. I bow to his lotus feet with great awe and reverence. By his grace, one can cross the ocean of material suffering and obtain the mercy of Krishna. Our only wish is to have our consciousness purified by the words emanating from his lotus mouth. Attachment to his lotus feet is the perfection that fulfills all desires. He opened our dark eyes, fills our hearts with transcendental knowledge. He is our Lord, birth after birth. From him ecstatic prema emanates. By him ignorance is destroyed. The Vedic scriptures sing of his character. Our spiritual master is the ocean of mercy, the friend of the poor, and the Lord and master of the devotees. O Master, be merciful unto us. Give us the shade of your lotus feet. Your fame is spread all over the three worlds. Shri Guru Charana Padmam Kevalabha Kahati Sadma Kevalabha Kahati Sadma Bando Sadana Mate Bando Sadana Mate Jahara Prashare Bhai Bhavato Riya Share Bhai Bhavato Riya Jai Krishna Prapti Hoy Jai Krishna Prapti Hoy Jai Guru Mukha Padma Bhakya Shite Koriya Aikya Guru Mukha Padma Bhakya Shite Koriya Aikya Arna Kori Hamane Asha Arna Kori Hamane Asha Shri Guru Charane Rati Eshayu Tamagati Shri Guru Charane
Rati Shivtamagati
Shipashade Pure Sarva Asha Shipashade Pure Sarva Asha Shri Guru Rati Eshayu Tamagati
Sri Guru Charani Rati
Shivtamagati
Prashade Puri Sarva Asha
Jai
Prashade Puri Sarva Asha
Chakhudan Janme Janme Prabhu Divyan Jide Prakashito Prema Bhakti Jaha Hoite Avidya Vinasa Jati Gaida Hara Charito
Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Dama Janara Bandhu
Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Dhamma Janara Bandhu Kanat Lokera Divana
Devo more pada
Mahaprabhu Khara Daya Dev More Pada
Dev Jas Kushubhana
Jai Prabhupada,
Jaya Prabhupada Jaya
Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada.
Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Shri Mate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namah
Krishna Padaya
Krishna Krishna
Jaya Bhutale
Shri
Mate Bhakti Vedanta Swami
Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pushtatari Shakadine
Namaste
Saraswati
Gauravani Prachare
Sheshavadi
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Radha Shivasari Gaur Bhakta
Jaya Shri Krishna
Chaitanya
Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur
Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari
Gaura
Hare Hare Nama Krishna Yadavaya Nama
Krishna Yadavaya Nama
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama
Yadavaya Madhavaya Krishna Nama
Gopal Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudan
Gopal Govindaram Sri Madhusudana
Giridhari Gopinath Madan Mohan
Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohan
Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Sita
Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Sita
Guru Vaishnava Bhagavata Gita.
Hari Guru Vaishnava Bhagavata Gita
Shri Sanatan Bhakta Raghuna.
Virup Sri Sanatan Bhakta Raghuna
Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Das Raghuna.
Jiva Gopal Bhatta Das Raghuna
Nichai Gosai Gauri Charanamanda. Nichai Gosai
Charanavana
Jahati Vignana Shavishta Pura.
Janavati Abhinana Sravistapura
Nichai Gosai Jarmui Tarda.
Jai 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 Muridara
Chansavara Paradinu Mora Panchagras.
Asavara Pradana
Kandira Charam Sevi Bhakta Saniva.
Sandhira
Janame Janame Hoye Abhila.
Janame Janame Yatila
Nichai Gosai Javi Praje Kulavas.
Jai Jai
Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Koila Prakash. Radha Krishna Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan. Bolo Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pari Bhajami Aman. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pari Shri Guru Vaishnava Padma Puriyash. Harinam Sankirtan Kohena Rathamudas. Nam Sankirtan Gorena. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Rama Hare Rama Rama
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Nitai go.
Nitai Gaura Premanande Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Shri Harinam Mantra Ki
Jai.
Shri Harinam Prabhu Ki
Jai.
Gaura Premanande
Hari Hari Bo.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bo
Hari Bo. Hari Bo.
Gaura Premanande Hari Bo
Hari Hari Bo.
Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Raja Gajay Vishtotra Shri Srimad Abhay Charanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Raja Gajay Vishtotra Shri Srimad Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Nilila Pravishta Paramahamsa Babaji Shri Srila Gorkishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Nilila Pravishta Shri Srila Shaktirananda Bhaktivedanta Thakur Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Shri Gaudiya Vedanta Charya Shri Srila Baladev Bhushan Prabhu Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Shri Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Shri Shri Narottam Srinivas Shamananda Prabhu Chaya Ki Jai. Jai Shri Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Jai Shri Srila Vrindavanas Thakur Mahashaya Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Shri Rup Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Bhattash Raghunath Shad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Jai Shri Swarup Damodar Shri Rai Ramanandari Gaura Shakta Varga Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai.
Jai.
Prem Zikaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai.
Jai.
Shri Yantar Deep Mayapur Simanta Deep Godruma Deep Madhya Deep Kola Deep Riti Deep Jana Deep Modya Duma Deep Rudi Deep Atmaka Srinava Deep Tam Ki Jai. Vada Shri Upavana Ki Jai.
Jai.
Shri Shamakunda Radhakunda Giri Govardhan Jamuna Ganga Tulsi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai.
Jai.
Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhaji Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Bhakti Vignam and Ashana Shina Shingadev Ki Jai.
Jai.
Bhakti Pravada Shri Prahlad Maharaj Ki Jai.
Jai.
Shri Vraja Mandala, Shri Gauda Mandala, Shri Kshetra Mandala Ki Jai.
Jai.
Shri Vaishnav Sampradaya Ki Jai.
Jai.
Shri Vaishnav Acharya Ki Jai.
Jai.
Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai.
Jai.
Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai.
Jai.
Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai.
Jai.
Oh, glorious to some of the devotees.
Hare
Some of the
Krishna.
devotees.
Hare Krishna.
Glory to some of the devotees.
Hare Krishna.
Premanande Haribo.
Hare
Now we have some special announcement from the Sankirtan department.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Obeisances on Vishnu Prabhupada.
Jai.
Today, actually, we have been doing this calling people on the phone and texting and asking them if they need books. And today, we would like to ask if Kautukarna Prabhu can give a live demonstration of what exactly he does. And he has been distributing many, many books. He distributed 2 Bhagavatam sets last week and Saptarishis as well. So he can give one demo to all the devotees.
So I just want to mention that if everyone does something, then we'll get a bigger test sample of everybody in the community. So today, let's all pick somebody to call. You know, if you can do 10, it gives you a bigger sample and you can really light into it. So a few devotees are doing, but if we get everybody to do some, then we'll have much more information about how to do this. Sorry to interrupt, but I just wanted to mention that. Go right ahead with Kautakarnika Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Kautakarna Prabhu, would you like to say something?
Yes, Mother. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Guru Maharaj. So, yeah, I also feel everyone doing a little bit would be great. So, Mataji, when I get started, I just first of all fix the number of contacts that I'm going to call, so that I have some target in my mind. For example, when we were going out for Sankirtan, we had certain number of hours that we put in the Sankirtan. So now it is not possible. So I just have this number of contacts that I'm going to call. So I just set like 5 people or 10 people. So I write down, or at least I have that in my mind, whom I'm going to call. So these people can be different for different devotees. They can be our friends, they can be our relatives, they can be Sankirtan contacts. But yeah, first step is to make a list of contacts that we are going to call. And then the next step which I do is I make a sheet. I mean, just I write down what I'm going to say when I'm going to call them. This is I have made it from the script that you have shared. It's a document, right? So it has different steps when we call them. First of all, we ask them how they are doing, and then yeah. So then we yeah. So there are just few lines I had written them from the document itself. So I hope you are doing safe in this situation, and how is your family back home in India, or whether, yeah, if they are here, then how is their family here. And then if it is my friend, then I just get in touch with him accordingly. For example, if he has kids, then I ask how is he doing, and how is work. So I just I keep it very short for 1 minute, and then I tell him that this time is a difficult time when people are going through a lot of anxiety and fearfulness, and a lot of things to be panicked about. So and we know that our ancient scriptures like Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, they give us a lot of hope and relief. I always say this: you know more than I do. So this is a nice term to say here, because they can think of Bhagavad Gita in their own perspective, or in their own perspective, how they have been raised in their own families. And so I just tell them that we have a weekly schedule of classes on Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday. So I wanted to let you know that we have this, and you can always join in and ask any questions online. I also wanted to let you know about the project that we are doing, Go Matsya project. It's to save the Vedas. So I wanted to explain you on that. If you have 10 minutes or something. So most of the people say yes, they have time. So then I share the slide deck that you have on the document. I share it with them on WhatsApp, and then I go over the whole slides. Yeah, I have to improve on my timing. Right now, I'm taking a lot of time in presenting. So 30 minutes, 35 minutes. But at the end, the person is not interested. So, or he might be interested. So I have to work on that to reduce that time. But so if we can go through that slide, and at the end, I just say that we don't sell these books. We accept donations. Printing and shipping is 250. Anything above that is a donation. And if the person is willing to take, then I let them know about the payment methods, about PayPal. If he says that he's not ready right now, then I also give them an option of sponsoring a Bhagavad Gita case, or taking e-books, so he can carry wherever he is going. And I also give them an option of Saptrishi set. I haven't been able to do any Saptrishi as of now, Mataji, sorry. I could only do Bhagavatam, 2 Bhagavatams. So yeah, so I called around 15 people, I guess. Out of those, 2 people took Bhagavatams. So the goal is to call people and then depend on Krishna. So I feel if I'm calling them for glorifying Bhagavatam and not for selling them Bhagavatam, then it's easier for me to call them. So that's all how I do it, Mataji.
Thank you very much, Kautukarnika Prabhu.
Thank you.
Any kids that have been calling in, and you have any tips you can share? Everyone has some experience when you call. There's things that work that don't work. If any of the kids can share what's worked. Go right ahead. Who do you suggest, Malini?
I know that Advait, both the Advaits have tried. Advait Srinivasan and
Vrinda.
Vrinda is also there on the call. So,
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
I think one thing that works is if you also talk to the kids of the families, because they're also willing to hear about the stories. So I like narrated some stories for them, and they really liked that.
Nice. What stories did you tell them?
Chitraketu Maharaj and Ajamil's story.
Well, that's amazing. How long did you take to tell the story? You just told it from your head?
Yeah, it just took around like 5 minutes for each story.
I see. Give a thumbnail sketch of each one, right? How did you get the kids to come on the phone?
I actually didn't know that they were on the phone at first, but then they told us that their kids were also listening. So then that's when I started.
Were these friends of the family that you called?
Yeah.
Nice. And so that helped a lot because the kids got interested?
Yes.
Nice. Thank you for that tip. That's really good. It's the same as going door to door, right? It's just be aware the same things work. Okay, great, Vrinda. Thank you. Is it wait there? You know, your video, I showed it to the GBCs, and then we passed it on to everybody, all the temple presidents in America. That there were several clips of you, but that one where you were showing the book to the screen, there was some lady there and you were saying, yeah, that's got the Sanskrit and everything. I think a lot of people connected with that because they saw that you were just sincerely trying to show the book through the screen. So what tips, what are the things that you find that actually work?
Well, what I did was we took the Bhagavatam flip chart, like the online version, and we screen shared it with the person we were talking to. And so it was kind of like normal distribution, except they're looking at the flip chart that we made. It's just like a slideshow of relevant topic, relevant points we usually go over in book distribution. And I just went over them like I would in normally. And one of the kids, she was really interested, and we talked about how in the third canto, they talk about the science of embryology and the womb and how the child develops. And then the kid was they talked about how they did some science project about how they saw how a chicken developed in an egg or something like that. And so I think she was related to that.
Nice. You related it to a particular interest that they had, or found out they had the interest in it, and that was a good pathway, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, they took it.
They took it.
was,
Wow, that's amazing. Very good. I think Kameshri, you have a few comments.
Yes, Prabhuji. So, when I'm sending messages to my friends, so when I mentioned that my son is volunteering to preserve the Vedas, it's volunteer service, and he's a part of youth club at ISKCON temple. We used to take them out every Saturday. That's their service, and we just they are participating, going door to door, and sharing about these books so that we can preserve. So now they want to continue, by reaching out over the phone. So when I tell them that my son is doing, then they want. Many of them actually they're saying that I want my daughter or my son to be there, and they're making sure that they are listening. The kids are listening, and they're asking, do you have any question? You would ask Advait, and I also told them that if they are interested. So far Advait has. We are able to get a few of the responses, and three of them we have, two of them have made Zoom presentation. One he talked over phone for the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So out of three, two of them took the Bhagavatam, and the Chaitanya Charitamrita, she already has Bhagavatam. She is still thinking, and so they are encouraging, and they are actually involving their kids also, because kids are involved from our side. So they feel that my kid also, I want them to know these stories. That's their that's what I see in them. So it is very nice to see them encourage the kids. That's what I found out, that they're encouraging the kids more than I have. For the last 3 weeks since you gave the assignment, I am contacting at least 3 people every Saturday, and two of them at least I am in touch with them, but I was not able to distribute the Bhagavatam so far. But I'm still continuing to talk. But at least when we started with kids, with Advait, I thought the encouragement is more in that part. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. For those who are spending more time online and talking to people and things like that, and even for selling books, I do recommend investing in a good microphone. So the microphones that are on the computer, they pick up ambient noise, and it's like echoey in the room. But if you get yourself a first-class microphone and you put it in front of you when you're talking, you can get a really good one for even as little as $100. It makes a huge difference in the quality when you're presenting and talking. Okay, Malini, anybody else? Yes, please go ahead.
Prabhu, I was just thinking that we are going to launch the Bhagavad Seva summer, and if kids want to do the class, they've been doing a wonderful job presenting Krishna stories and Bhagavatam stories to ISV kids every day from 4 to 5. So I was just wondering that if they can be the teachers for the summer course, and that way, they can just get a lot more Lakshmi for doing Bhagavatams.
Okay, that's a good suggestion.
Yeah, anybody's interested, please do contact me. I will send that.
That goes to the point of bundling together our different services to offer to people along with the book. And that's something Kaujakarna brought up, that, well, why not? He's saying, you can join classes and things like that. I think later today, we're going to have a presentation from Jai Madhava Prabhu talking about our new launch today on this auspicious day of launching of a special bhakti community that you can present to people as a package for that. Is that correct, Jai Madhava Prabhu? I saw that you're there.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept me. This is all Guru Shri Prabhupada. Yes, so I do have that. If you want, I can quickly present it as well, the package.
Or you want to do it now?
Now or later, whenever you want. At least an overview of what the program itself is about.
Well,
or we can do it later too.
Are you going to do it later?
So the actual program will be live later, but just introduction to the program so people are aware and they can join the program.
What do you mean it'll be live? We're live now, we'll be live later. What's the difference? I don't understand.
So the overview of the program I can give, and they can join the program later when they actually happen.
What does it mean, join the program? You're going to give the presentation today at 4:30, right?
Okay, sure.
No, I'm just asking. I'm trying to understand the difference between doing now and later. If you do it now, it'll take a half hour. If you do it later, it's the same thing.
If I do it now, it will take 5 minutes.
All right.
Yeah.
I think you should do it now for 5 minutes.
Yeah. Thanks. So as Vaisesika Prabhuji mentioned, we are launching a new Bhakti community program. So I'll share a quick snapshot of the video, and then I can explain about the program itself. I'll share my screen and let me know if you can see that. I will need to be given access to sharing screen. Is it?
Hold on. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, hold on. Go ahead.
Thanks. So let me know whenever you can see the screen.
Yes.
Yes. So it's a bhakti community which is primarily targeted for newcomers to inspire hope, heart, and happiness. So there is a video which provides overview of the program, so I can play as well. Let me know if you can hear the sound. So this program itself, as I mentioned, is for newcomers who can join. They can learn about bhakti through the various courses which will be there. There will be a regular weekly podcast on Bhakti on, where wisdom of bhakti would be shared with them. Sadhana on, where how to apply those bhakti in daily life would be shared with them, which they can apply, and we'll be adding more in future. So the visitors can sign up for a month, one free 1 month trial. So the content we already have are more than $1,000 in value, but they can donate. Suggested donation is $20 per month, which they can donate and get the benefit right away. If they cannot donate $20, that's perfectly fine. We understand they can just donate $1, token $1, and sign up and experience it for a month before they decide to continue. They will also have the opportunity to buy bhakti books right from here as well, or see all the bhakti videos from various bhakti leaders from the globe would be available too. And any question they can drop us a note. So any questions from anyone on this program?
Do they get free books, Prabhu?
Sorry, Mataji?
Do they get free books when they enroll?
No, they are all paid books, Mataji.
But there is the other offer that we are trying to do, is that whoever actually buys a set of Srimad Bhagavatam, they will get free 2 or 3 month trial for this Bhakti community. So that is one of the options we can give. We are planning to give actually.
So we can offer 2 months, Mataji. So it's double of what normally offers. So we can give it 2 months free to them.
And Prabhu, this is another question. What is your plan for publicizing this?
So we are on this auspicious day, we'll be launching it today. So we are announcing it to the ISV congregation, and we'll start marketing later today.
And also, Prabhu, this is a very nice program, Prabhu. It's really nice that not only we just give the books, but at the same time we are connecting them with the books so that they get much more than what they just read on their own. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Thanks.
Yeah. So when you call people, what you have to offer them, just like Kauta Karna Prabhu instinctually is doing, is say, okay, we have classes you can join. And that's sort of a la carte, if you want to, you can. But when you do this and you're doing book distribution with this, you call as a whole package. It's not just take the set of books, but we have a whole lifestyle training course. It comes with the books. The books cost this much, and then you can join this program. Everybody can take advantage. Then it's a very appealing kind of package that they can join and upgrade their whole lifestyle. And the books become a part of the support system for this whole infrastructure that's going to be available, an ongoing suite of services that will keep expanding, and they can enter into and then have this as their partner in life to help them make advancement.
Yeah, and just once they sign up, what they get is they will be part of a private group called Bhakti Community. And as part of that group, I can show you that all these courses are available for them. So the ones which I mentioned previously, so beginning Bhakti course, so there are 4-part series will be there. Beginning mantra meditation, we are also loading journey of self-discovery. So all those existing courses are available, as well as I mentioned, a weekly live podcast for Bhakti and Sadhana on would also be placed there. So like if you see the illusion, I'll just play a minute video there. This is the first part for the beginning Bhakti series, which is a 2-hour introduction. It's a total 8 hours actually, but at least the first part is 2 hours.
I'd like to kind of share a few thoughts before we dive into. When I was like 20 years old, I developed an interest in Bhakti Yoga. I was living in this neighborhood here. Then when I was 21, I said I felt like I wanted to really commit to it. And so I became a monk. And in this kind of yoga tradition, there's 2 types of monks. There's like...
So the idea is that the course is very story-based interactive, so that would also be engaging for them. So one request is for the members, if you all can at least take advantage of the trial period available, so if you can just sign up and at least give feedback around if a newcomer comes in and if they are going through this process, then what is their experience looking like, where we are doing well, where we can improve. That will be very beneficial to all of us. And as Vaisesika Prabhuji mentioned, we have our first launch program later today. So if you can participate that one as well, so that will be helpful too. So that's all I had to share. Any questions?
Give him a hand. Come on, give it up. This is a hard work and long time planning for years, actually, working with different professionals and, staying up all night. The kind of infrastructure that that JM and his wife put together here is amazing. So now this is something we've been looking for a long time. And after a lot of hard work, we're announcing it and launching it on this day. And I think his suggestion that everybody sign up is a good idea. Get in there so there's some activity, so there's some membership in there, and we can all see what's happening, because this is really a boon for us. We've showed this to the GBCs and some of the temple presidents and things like that, just as a sneak preview, and people are over the moon about it. I mean, I have people, GBCs calling me from all over the world saying, how can we get this? How can we be part of it? This is the next phase in ISKCON and everything. And it's happening here in real time at ISV, taking a lead on this. So really dig into it, try to find the gaps, try to find where poke it, prod it, and find out if there's anything that's not working, so that we can fix it right away. Our motto has been fail forward fast on this. We wanted to launch it as quickly as possible. So, and use it today, starting today, right? JM, they can announce it and let people know that this is available. And if you have any more questions about, what the features are and stuff, they can go in and look at it today, right?
Yes, that's correct. So we are launching it today, so they can, of course, go and look at it.
So even before the launch, like today, they can poke around, and before if they call somebody on the phone, let's say Kauta Karnika Prabhu is calling one of his 10 people today, he can tell them that, look at, here's this program, Bhakti community, you've got classes, you can learn everything and stuff like that, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And this is for the first audience. We'll be launching additional program for other audiences too, like for Western audiences, etc. We are on similar lines. We are working on it. Those will be launched shortly as well.
So today, this is for people who are acquainted with Vedic culture and stuff like that, right?
Yeah. So those who are open for concept called religion or supreme control or a god, like they are open for such concept. So those it could be Indians or others as well. In future, we'll be launching for spiritual audiences, which are more Western and they not necessarily have religious belief, but then we'll have a pathway for them as well.
Okay. Do we have a pathway at all right now for people? Let's say it's a more Westernized type of person. Do we have any pathway at this particular time right now?
Yeah, so we do have a couple of them. So one is we have Stanford Bhakti Yoga, where it's being practiced. Online, they can come to Vaisesikadaas.com for now, where they can come and see all the content. And very soon, in just matter of a couple of weeks or week or two, we'll be launching a spiritual community pathway as well.
Okay. All right, sounds good.
So
Any other thing, Malini? We don't want to stay on here all day and I have to go myself. So are there any last points? Yeah.
We are encouraging everyone to participate this weekend. At least call someone or text someone, at least 5 people this weekend.
Okay. And just tell us in a nutshell, what do you think we should tell them?
So
considering all this new stuff we just got.
So we can first text them to ask how they're doing. If they respond back, then you can actually call them and tell them about the programs that we have. First of all, the Bhakti community program that we have, where they can get not just the information of the books, but also they can participate in the Bhakti programs. And we can also tell them if they end up taking a book. First thing is, if they take a paper book, we're also giving ebook this weekend, just a limited time only. We're trying to give them ebooks as well.
Malini, if they're leading with benefits rather than features, like what you're saying is features, here are the features. What are they going to get out of it if they join the Bhakti community? Like, how is it going to benefit their life? Name 3 things that are going to make their life better.
First thing is they will get satisfaction by listening to the various classes, and it gives them fearlessness to face the current situation in this world. And they will get association of like-minded people who are into this Bhakti community as well. And this can expand other things in their life as well, like auspiciousness, good fortune as well.
Okay, thanks. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Avantika, can you announce the cooks, please?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Today's prashadam was cooked by Bhaktavatsal Prabhu, Hansa Priya Mataji, Radhavalla Prabhu, Kameshri Mataji, Manjula Kanta Mataji, Ujjvala Rasa Mataji, Hari Sankirtan Prabhu, Radhika Prema Mataji, Tadiya Seva Prabhu, and Ananda Vrindavan Mataji.
Oh, Sharirat Vijaja Jodendriya Tahika Jive Pele Vishaya Shogade Karma Jidivayati Laba Moisudurmati Taki Jeta Katita Shanshare Krishna Bodha Doya Moy Kori Bari Jiva Jai Shaprashadana Dilubai Shayanamrita Pao Radha Krishna Guna Gao Premedako Shri Chaitanya Vastavamayam Jayemahi Bhagavat Shri Mahaprasada Ki Gaura Premanande Nitai Gaura Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Nitai Gaura Hari Bo Nitai Gaura Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Ran out of time for the nectarine verses, so we'll do that next meeting. Gaur Premanande Haribo.
Haribo.
Panchakopdurusha Kripasindavevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo. Can everyone please unmute and say Hare Krishna?
Hare Krishna.
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 Gaur Premanande Haribo.
Haribo.